Do you ever feel like you're just drowning in information, searching for that shortcut to really deep understanding, but you just get more overwhelmed?
Yeah, absolutely.
What if I told you we could maybe cut through some of that noise, get straight to the insights you're actually looking for?
Well, that's pretty much our mission today, isn't it? We're doing a deep dive into timeless wisdom, leaders, values, and progress.
Okay.
We've gathered quite a unique stack of sources for you, articles, research, some personal notes too on these really great leaders, reformers, administrators.
So what's the goal?
The goal is really to distill the most important nuggets of knowledge, those insights from all these different voices. And you find some surprising facts, some really profound principles that are honestly incredibly relevant today.
Right.
We're basically here to help you figure out what truly matters from all this material.
All right, let's unpack this then. Where do we start? Pioneers of modern India.
Exactly. We're looking at these foundational thinkers who really challenged tradition, who envisioned a whole new path for society and, for the individual too.
Okay, like who?
Well, think about Ram Mohan Roy first. This guy didn't just question traditional culture. He actively charted a path for India's progress, even under British rule.
How did he do that?
What's really revolutionary, I think, is how he blended things. He took democratic ideas from the modern West and mixed them with the philosophy of Vedanta, from the Upanishads.
Wow. Okay, so not just copying the West.
No, not at all. It was a synthesis, a really profound one. He's widely seen as the person who ushered in the Age of Enlightenment in modern India. He even supported bringing Western learning into the Indian education system.
Yeah, you can still feel that today, right?
Yeah.
Our sources mentioned how modern India has embraced these ideas. Something about the recent economic survey.
Exactly. It noted the shift towards women-led development. That's a pretty direct line from his thinking to now, isn't it?
It really is.
Yes.
Powerful. Okay, so building on that, Swami Dayanand Saraswati.
Yes. A very passionate figure. Worked for the emancipation of, all humankind. He fiercely advocated for gender equality, democracy, education, and he actively worked to discard social evils, things like untouchability, child marriages. Just threw them out.
And he had this strong connection to the Vedas.
Oh, absolutely. He believed the Vedas were infallible, which led to that famous call, go back to the Vedas.
Right.
But, and this is key, for him it wasn't about blind tradition, it was about a rational interpretation. He spread this through Vedic schools, the Arya Samaj, the reform movement he founded.
So restoring pride, but with reason.
Precisely. Restoring pride in India's past and culture. And he had this core belief, ignorance is the root cause of all misery. He said, Dharma consists in following the truth, which alone triumphs ultimately. It shows how returning to principles rationally can really spark change.
Powerful words.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next up, Swami Vivekananda, a huge figure.
Huge. Believed in Vedanta philosophy, taught people to have faith in themselves. His definition of education is fascinating.
How so?
It wasn't just, information, it was a whole process. Character formation, increasing mental strength, sharpening the intellect. He was all about positive education.
Positive education.
Yeah, he thought negative thoughts literally deteriorate people. Encouragement, he said, not constant criticism, is what helps young people actually improve and grow.
That makes sense.
And what's really unique is his concept of man-making.
Man-making.
For him, it meant harmonious development, body, mind, and soul. All three. He saw doing good for others as the absolute core of any ethical system.
Right.
And he believed the solutions to social problems, even global ones, lie in education focused on moral values. His famous quote, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached, it just captures that spirit perfectly. Relentless improvement, building a nation from the inside.
And he has specific ideas for nation building, too.
He did. 3 things he thought were crucial. First, a real conviction in the power of goodness. Second, a total absence of jealousy and suspicion. And third, helping everyone who's trying to do good.
That's quite a standard.
It is. He pushed for egalitarianism, socialism, stressing purity, patience, perseverance. And you can see practical applications in administration today.
Oh, so?
Well, his focus on self-belief, that translates directly to visionary leadership, empowering employees, encouraging innovation because people feel confident, or doing good to others. That builds a service-oriented culture, putting citizens first, upholding ethics through integrity.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Initiatives like the Fix-It for Young Leaders Dialogue 2025, they seem to really embody his ideals, self-belief, service, nation-building among young people.
Interesting connection.
Okay.
Okay, and we shouldn't forget Savitribai Phule.
Absolutely not. A true crusader for women's rights and justice, especially during British rule, she fearlessly tackled patriarchy head-on.
Her big contribution was education, right?
Monumental. She laid the foundations for girls' education, opening one of India's first schools for women back in 1848. She also fought against child marriage, supported widow remarriage. Her role in fighting gender inequality was just foundational. You can't overstate it.
Okay, so that covers the pioneers. Where do we go next? More holistic view.
Exactly. Let's shift to leaders who focused on what you might call integral progress. Looking at human and societal evolution more holistically, truth, consciousness, service as the path forward.
And that brings us to Sri Aurobindo.
Right. His teachings dug deep into virtues, truth, justice, purity, sacrifice, love, compassion. He saw moral progress as essential for social development.
And his view on knowledge was unique.
Very. He said true knowledge isn't something we create by thinking, it's something we discover inside ourselves.
Discover.
Yeah. His quote is great. True knowledge is not attained by thinking. It is what you are. It is what you become. He argued our ignorance gets worse when we just focus on the present, forgetting the past, ignoring the future. Finding your true self, he thought, reveals multiple truths, helps you get beyond the ego.
Beyond the ego.
Which is why he said, if you want to be a true doer of divine works, your first aim must be to be totally free from all desire and self-regarding ego. It's a shift from ego-driven stuff to a more selfless, truth-based path.
That's a really powerful idea. Knowledge is discovery. And he had ideas about education, too.
He did. Education in the mother tongue, learning through self-experience, love, learning by doing. And he had this five-fold classification of human nature.
Five-fold.
Physical, vital, mental, psychic, and spiritual. With education tailored for each, aiming for, complete development. And fascinatingly, he thought societies and states evolve too, just like people.
Evolve. Like how?
Well, you can maybe see echoes of his vision for a more spiritually aware, harmonious world in things like the Raisina Dialogue today, that big international conference. It sort of touches on those ideals of global evolution.
Interesting. Okay, and then, of course, a name everyone knows, Mahatma Gandhi.
Indeed. Gandhi realized how crucial it was to see the humanity in everyone. Fighting injustice, yes, but always protecting everyone's self-respect.
And his idea of Swaraj, or Ram Raja.
It wasn't just about political freedom. He called it the kingdom of God, and he believed it had to start inside us first, in our souls. Only then could it manifest in the villages, in society.
So internal first, then external.
Exactly. He stressed social living for mutual benefit. And that famous idea, the earth provides enough for everyone's need, but definitely not for everyone's greed.
Which leads to Sarvodaya.
Yes, Sarvodaya, meaning universal uplift or progress of all.
What are the core ideas there?
Well, rejecting centralized authority, seeing politics just as a way to serve, envisioning a society free from the tyranny of the majority, free from exploitation, class hatred, built on equality, liberty, letting individuals develop fully.
And non-possession.
Right. No private property as a tool for exploitation. And this unwavering faith in everyone's welfare, all based on truth and nonviolence.
Can we see that principle today?
I think so. Look at the Supreme Court saying films shouldn't misrepresent people with disabilities. That's about dignity for all. Or that Duty on a Ba campaign promoting local MG and Reg EA jobs that's uplifting communities directly. Grassroots stuff.
And he also talked a lot about unity.
Profoundly. He truly believed we're all connected. If one person gains spiritually, the whole world gains. If one falls, the whole world falls with them.
Wow.
He put it beautifully. My countrymen are my nearest neighbors. I cannot find him apart from humanity. Our ultimate aim, he thought, is realizing God, and serving other humans is essential for that journey.
Okay, now here's something that really makes you think. His teaching on rights versus duties.
Ah, yes. This is crucial. He famously said, the true source of rights is duty. If we all discharge our dues, rights will not be far to seek.
Duty comes first.
Exactly. He'd quote the Gita. Action alone is thine. Leave thou the fruit severely alone. The action is your duty. The fruit is the right.
And focusing on the fruit or rights is bad.
He warned it leads to impatience, anger, using unethical means. He stressed that the right to perform your duties is the only right truly worth living for.
That's counterintuitive for many today.
Absolutely. He warned that just insisting on rights without doing your duties, That leads to utter confusion and chaos. It flips the script from entitlement to responsibility.
And we saw this debated recently. Something about a bureaucrat.
Yeah, there was that post about the disability quota. It sparked a huge discussion. Her right to express an opinion versus her duties and responsibilities as a public servant. It hit that exact nerve Gandhi talked about.
Fascinating. Okay, another key thinker. S. Radhakrishnan.
Yes, a philosopher whose ideas really shaped how we think about progress. He believed our future depends not on force, but on our spirit, our approach to life.
Force leads to a bleak future.
That was his warning. Belief in the human spirit leads to prosperity. For him, humans are way more than just, nerves and muscles. We have a spirit inside that needs discovering, nurturing.
So moral victory over physical power.
Precisely. Always stressing the unity of mankind, brotherhood. He wanted people to be free, creative, not just cogs in a social machine, able to think, judge, create for themselves. Because our spiritual side isn't satisfied with just, stuff, temporal possessions.
And he had a specific view on intuition.
He did, not just a gut feeling. He saw it as a distinct way of knowing, self-established, self-evident, self-luminous, like a direct insight beyond just intellect.
And ethics.
For him, ethical principles are unconditional commands. They guide us towards self-realization, he put it so well. The awareness and understanding of the mystery of life can be gained only through ethics, religion, and philosophy. Nonviolence was his cardinal principle. And he talked about two kinds of change in human nature. The natural, inevitable kind, and the ethical or spiritual kind, which comes from conscience, from choice.
So the core idea is,
development of morals can be ensured only by loving other fellow beings. One should control ego, love and controlling the ego.
And how does this apply in administration?
Clearly, promoting spirituality and humanism fosters empathy, compassion, respect in public service. His focus on duty creates a culture of genuine service. And his belief in cultural pluralism means policies should meet diverse community needs.
Makes sense. And lastly, in this section, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad.
Yes, a real advocate for tolerance, harmony. He pushed hard for Hindu-Muslim unity, promoted the idea of unity of religion, deeply committed to secularism, India's pluralistic culture.
And his view on Western knowledge was interesting.
It was nuanced. He was open to the positives of Western knowledge, even while strongly opposing Western rule over India. He could separate the two.
And education was key for him, too.
Absolutely. As a way to empower citizens, especially girls and the rural poor, he believed basic education was a birthright, essential for fulfilling one's duties as a citizen. And he was known for his absolute impartiality and unimpeachable integrity, a high standard for public life.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly, now focusing more on shaping equitable futures. Society, opportunity, governance.
Right. And here, B.R. Ambedkar is central. His concept of justice was truly groundbreaking. Rooted in equality, equal distribution, a society completely free of discrimination.
He drew on Buddhism.
Deeply. He saw it as a humanitarian religion based on liberty, equality, fraternity. And he's at a crucial point about rights.
Which was?
That laws alone don't protect rights. It's the social and moral conscience of society that does. He warned, if the community opposes fundamental rights, no law, no parliament, no judiciary can guarantee them. Rights are fragile without social backing.
That's a sobering thought.
It is. He also stressed that political democracy needs social and economic democracy to survive. He said democracy was not a form of government. It was essentially a form of society. Equality, liberty, fraternity, those were his foundations. His whole life was dedicated to uplifting marginalized groups.
And we see echoes of this today, like the census.
Exactly. The government approving caste enumeration in the next census. That aligns directly with Ambedkar's vision, using data to identify and uplift marginalized communities, ensuring they get fair representation, fair opportunities.
Okay. Now, Deen Dayal Upadhyay and integral humanism.
Yes. This philosophy focuses on holistic development, physical, mental, and spiritual for both individual growth and societal well-being.
What are the key principles?
There are four main ones. Antodaya, uplifting the very last person. Sarvodaya, uplifting everyone. Swadeshi, self-reliance. And Dharma, righteousness.
And it puts humans at the center.
Absolutely. At the center of the economic model, aiming for broad societal connection, it tries to find a middle path between pure individualism and strict collectivism. He insightfully noted, lack of national identity has led to confusion about our goal and the direction.
And he distinguished between Western science and lifestyle.
Critically. Absorb the science, he said, but don't just blindly copy the Western way of life. You see this reflected in India's push for self-reliance now in critical minerals, arms development, advancing technologically but trying to keep its own identity.
How does integral humanism apply to administration?
In many ways, Antidaya pushes for inclusive development, social justice, focusing on vulnerable groups. Swadeshi encourages local businesses, SMEs. Dharma promotes good governance, efficiency, transparency, accountability, even using e-governance. It's about holistic development rooted in cultural values, even including environmental sustainability.
Got it. Another important figure, Ram Manohar Lohia.
Yes, Lohia was sharp at identifying inequalities, gender, race, caste, foreign domination, economic disparity. He saw them all.
And he proposed revolutions.
7 of them. Saptkran, he called it. For equality in all those areas, plus political equality, a democratic world government, ending private property, stopping interference in private life, and using satyagraha.
Quite comprehensive.
Very. He called for equality on 4 fronts. Inward, within a nation, outward between nations, material equality, and spiritual equality. He fought tirelessly against caste and gender inequality, working to weaken the caste system.
Are his ideas still relevant?
You could argue so. Look at debates around universal basic income that touches on social security and equality, or Parliament passing the Wath Amendment Act for gender equality within that specific framework. These resonate with his concerns.
Okay, let's bring in a more contemporary economic perspective.
Yeah.
Amartya Sen and the capability approach.
Right. This is a freedom-centric approach. It focuses not just on what resources people have, but on their actual abilities to achieve well-being.
Abilities to do and be.
Exactly. He calls these functionings. Things like being healthy, being educated, participating in your community. Capabilities are the real freedoms, the actual opportunities people have to achieve these functionings.
How is that different from, say, utilitarianism?
Well, utilitarianism often focuses on the greatest good for the greatest number, often quantitatively. Liberalism might prioritize certain civil political rights. Sen argues these can be limited. His approach asks, do people have the real freedom and opportunity to live the kind of life they value? It's about moving beyond just resources to genuine opportunity.
That's a powerful distinction. Opportunity. Which reminds me of that story.
The Acres of Diamonds story from Shiv Khera.
Yes, can you share that quickly?
Sure. It's about an African farmer, happy, content. Then a wise man tells him about diamonds, sparking this deep dissatisfaction. The farmer sells his farm, goes searching worldwide, travels everywhere, ends up broke emotionally, physically, financially. Tragically, commits suicide.
Oh, dear.
Meanwhile, back home, the guy who bought the farm is watering his camels, sees a sparkly stone in the stream, picks it up, thinks it's pretty. Later, the same wise man visits, sees the stone, and instantly recognizes it's a diamond.
No way.
Yes. And they discover the entire farm, the land the first guy sold, is literally covered in acres of diamonds.
Wow. So the moral is?
Several, really. When our attitude is right, we often realize opportunity is already here. Like walking on diamonds. It's usually under our feet. We just need to recognize it.
The grass isn't always greener.
Exactly. And people who don't recognize opportunity, they just complain about the noise when it knocks. Plus, the same opportunity never knocks twice. The next one might be better, might be worse, but it's never identical.
So for our listeners, what opportunities might you be missing right now, right where you are? Something to think about.
Definitely. Okay, final theme. The moral compass. Leaders focused on inner peace, compassion, integrity, visionary leadership for broader harmony, global impact.
And where better to start than His Holiness the Dalai Lama?
Indeed. His core belief, all beings are interconnected. So ethical action must consider others, the environment. He promotes universal human values as secular ethics, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, contentment, self-discipline, and religious harmony too.
What's his core insight?
It's profound. He says something like, of the 7 billion people alive, nobody wants to suffer, nobody chooses problems, yet many problems are our own creation. Why? Ignorance.
Ignorance.
But ignorance isn't permanent. We can solve it through education. But whether we overcome it depends on if we make the effort. It's up to us.
And inner peace is key.
Crucial. We can never obtain peace in the outer world until and unless we obtain peace within ourselves. To get outer peace, you need emotional intelligence, understanding, managing emotions, embracing peace, nonviolence, tolerance, kindness. Like the Buddha said, what you feel you attract, what you imagine you create.
We see this historically.
Absolutely. Think of Ashoka embracing Dhamma after the Kalinga War peace followed, Gandhi's nonviolence leading to independence, and the flip side, Hitler's troubled past fueling atrocities, Saddam Hussein's unforgiving nature causing immense suffering. It really underscores the Dalai Lama's point about inner state impacting the outer world.
Then there's Mother Teresa.
Her vision was simple, powerful. Serve the poorest of the poor without apology. She believed serving them was serving God. Everyone deserves to feel wanted, loved.
And sacrifice was part of that.
Yes, embracing personal sacrifice to improve others' lives. Promoting peace through kindness, selfless giving, empathy. She had that beautiful process of peace. Silence leads to prayer, prayer to faith, faith to love, love to service, and service finally to peace.
And her legacy continues.
Very much so. You see it in things like Delhi training thousands of ESHA workers in elderly and palliative care. That's her spirit of compassionate service in action.
And finally, APJ Abdul Kalam.
A true inspiration. His life reflected patriotism, secularism, compassion, purity, respect. He connected personal ethics directly to the nation's health.
How did he phrase that connection?
It's a powerful chain. Nation has to have ethics for sustained prosperity and peace. If nation is to have ethics, society is to promote ethics. If society is to have ethics, families should adhere to ethics. If families have to, parenthood should have inbuilt ethics. Parental ethics come from great learning, value-based education, clean environment that leads to righteousness in the heart. It starts with the individual heart.
Wow. And he emphasized a certain work culture.
Yes, high quality.
Yeah.
Flexible, tech-savvy, knowledgeable, focused on results. And his advice on problem solving is gold.
What was that?
Basically, if you take on big complex tasks, expect big problems. Don't let the problem be your captain. You become the captain of the problem, defeat it, and succeed.
Love that. Be the captain.
Exactly. He stressed. Thinking is your capital asset. Motivation comes from within. And you need single-minded devotion, total commitment to succeed. And he linked it all back globally.
That righteousness quote.
That's the one. Where there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character, harmony in the home, order in the nation, peace in the world. From heart to world peace.
And applications in administration.
Clear again. Integrity, transparency, accountability from righteousness, youth empowerment, quality education, skill development, using technology for digital governance, R&D, visionary leadership with ambitious goals. It all flows from his core values.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, a lot of wisdom. How do we apply this to real-world, messy ethical challenges? Let's look at a case study. Ramesh and the illegal migrants.
Right. From a 2022 Civil Services exam, Ramesh, an officer, finds illegal migration happening with help from security personnel. He reports it. His bosses tell him to withdraw the report, threatening his career, promotion.
That's a nightmare scenario. What are the core dilemmas?
Several. Professional integrity versus obeying orders that compromise national security. Personal obligations, sick mother, kid's school versus his duty as director. Facing career threats. Balancing transparency with the need for confidentiality around sensitive intel.
What were his options, according to the source?
Option 1. Refuse. Escalate it. High risk for him, but upholds integrity. Tackles the problem. Option 2. Resign. Maintains personal integrity, avoids trouble, but bad for national interest. Wrongdoing stays hidden, duty isn't done. Option 3. Negotiate. Try to reach a compromise, but needs serious skill.
And the best course.
The source suggests prioritizing integrity and ethics, even with risks. Refuse to withdraw, raise concerns, maybe seek legal help, support from civil society or colleagues. Stand firm, essentially.
And policy-wise, to combat illegal migration.
The usual suggestions: stronger border security, better tech, enforcing laws strictly, public awareness, diplomacy with neighbors, regular screening, and deportation. A multi-pronged approach.
Okay, let's touch on gender inequality and ethics.
Defined simply as men and women not being treated equally. This throws up many ethical issues.
Such as?
Obvious discrimination, pay inequity, equal work, unequal pay, unequal access to education, sexual harassment, violence, underrepresentation in leadership, cultural biases, stereotypes, transgender rights, issues discrimination in healthcare, jobs, even implicit bias, those unconscious attitudes affecting hiring, promotions.
What are the ethical solutions? Best practices?
Adopting and enforcing policies for equality, equal pay, flexible work, parental leave, education and awareness from schools to workplaces, ensuring fair representation of all genders in leadership, and, critically, fair pay.
And surrogacy was mentioned briefly.
Yes, just acknowledging that while it can be an option for infertility, it brings, and I quote, a wealth of complex ethical issues. The sauce didn't detail them, but flags it as an area with ethical dimensions.
Got it. So wrapping up this deep dive, it feels like exploring these leaders and their wisdom gives us real tools, doesn't it? For personal challenges and these big societal issues.
Absolutely. The core principles, self-belief, service, integrity, empathy, the fight for justice, they're not just historical footnotes. They're incredibly relevant for navigating our world today. Hopefully this dive helped cut through some noise, gave you a more foundational understanding.
Definitely. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening.
Yeah, building on that acres of diamonds idea, how can we, each of us, actively look for those opportunities, that potential right under our own feet, in our lives, our work, our communities?
Recognize the diamond.
Recognize the diamonds. And then how do we take that discovery and translate it into collective progress? Using these timeless principles, duty, compassion, that pursuit of well-being for everyone as our guide. Something to really chew on.